What's up, you guys? My name is Preston James, and you're listening to The Reflection, where we do just that for ourselves and our community so that we may lead a healthier, more positive, and productive lifestyle. Thank you as always, for tuning in. I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you. And as you know, this is a time for Thanksgiving, coming up here in a day. I think this will actually be released on Thanksgiving Day. So again, I am thankful for all of you for tuning in and listening to my podcast. It means a lot. So, and thank you again. See, I can't say thank you enough for listening to my last episode or any of my last episodes, but the previous one, which was Taking Chances, Risk Analysis. Thought that was a great episode. We learned a lot. I think one of the biggest takeaways for myself was not to get too comfortable, that learning to grow and having this growth mindset involves being uncomfortable once in a while, if not more often than not. And not necessarily physically, but just uncomfortable with certain situations that we're not so familiar with and kind of going with the flow. It enables us to grow, have this optimistic mindset and moving forward, self-growth, commitment, all these things to be a better person. Because that's our goal, right? That's what the underlying point is here with the podcast, is to become a better version of yourself. Become a better version of yourself. So on this episode 5 of The Reflection, we will be talking about commitment, the power of commitment. But real quick, before I get into that, I was reading an article in The New Yorker, which I've most recently gotten into. I'm on this kick where I have the new iPhone, and I got a Pro Max, which I've never had that big of a phone before. So now I am able to read articles a lot better, and it's smoother, and it fits in my hand better, and it's just like this whole new chapter for me and my technology, or just my phone. But so I got a subscription to New Yorker, been reading a lot as I like to do, and I came across this article, and I wanted to read this to you real quick before we get into the episode, especially, or I guess specifically, for the time of thanks that we have in the holidays coming up. So this author is, what's his name? His name is Joshua Rothman, and he writes for The New Yorker. And so the quote is, "It's often said that being grateful or practicing gratitude feels good. This isn't just a truism. It's backed up by psychological research. People who write down lists of things for which they are grateful tend to feel happier." Martin Seligman, the positive psychologist, has found that writing and delivering a letter of gratitude to a specific person can result in a significant and immediate happiness boost. So I just wanted to share that with you because when I read that, it really stuck with me, especially, for the podcast, because that is what this is all geared towards, right? We're creating this life where we are happier. What does happy mean? What does successful mean to us? What does all of this mean to us? So asking ourselves, how do I become happier? I feel like a lot of people ask themselves that question. Well, I'm not happy, or how do I become happier? Well, here's one way to do it. Write a letter of gratitude to somebody that you know and that maybe you've been thinking about and you don't know what to say to them. Well, write them a letter. Take a huge weight off your shoulder. I know that I thank people all the time. I thank you guys. I thank my parents. I thank Vanessa, my soon-to-be wife. I thank my coworkers. I appreciate things that people do for me, even the smallest of things. I do not take it for granted, and I am very grateful all the time. This is no exception for Thanksgiving, but I just thought it was a good time to shed some light on that. So yes, commitment. Oh my goodness, the power of commitment. This was actually my uncle's idea. He lives in Virginia, and we've been talking recently more often. And he said, well, why don't you do one on commitment? And I was like, that's a great idea. And we were talking about my family. That's what brought it up. But even my uncle being involved, that's building community. And that's one of the things I like to do here as well. So I thought that was good. Bringing in ideas from the community, from the reflection. That's what I would like to do in the future as well from my listeners. So if you have any thoughts, please feel free. Write me an email, thereflection_pj@gmail.com. And if you have any other thoughts or you're just feeling down, shoot me a message. Maybe I can help. Don't know, but I'll definitely try. But Johann Wolfgang Van Goth or Goth said, at the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. My mom had always told me before, throughout my life, but especially it became more relevant, and she said it more often when I was moving out to California and things were happening for me in a sense of gearing towards my dream and my goals. And I would keep putting one foot in front of the other. And it wasn't happening overnight, right? Even the studio, this podcast, all these things didn't happen overnight. But step by step, my mom would see these things falling in my favor. And she would say, the universe is behind you on this, Preston. The universe is behind you. And, the first couple times I was like, yeah, maybe. I would like to think so. But as I kept going and am still going to this day, to this very second in time, that quote from Johann Wolfgang is more prevalent in my life than I ever thought it would be. I truly feel that way. When you're committed to something and you're putting one foot in front of the other and you're reaching towards that commitment, that goal, whatever it is, we'll talk about that obviously in a second, but whatever it is you're committed to and you're striving towards that, God or the universe will be behind you and you will see those results. And when I say results, I mean you will see the effect, the results of your commitment, of your what's the word I'm looking for? Your labor, to say, right? Like the work that you're putting in towards that thing, you will see that. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have to build some resilience. You won't have some setbacks, but it's all about how you see it. It's all about your vision, your perception of what's happening, right? Some people will argue, well, not even argue, but it's all about the perception of your reality. Your reality. If you lose a game, right, whether it's good or bad, did you learn something from that? If it's good, you're all happy. You're like, oh, I did everything right. But if you lost, a lot of us will be like, oh, we're down on ourselves or down on the team. But there's also learning involved there. So losing could be a good thing. It just depends on how you look at it, how you approach it, how you have that frame of mind around it. And I personally am trying to look at every single thing that happens in my life as a learning experience, and I apply it moving forward to anything that's similar or like that in any way, shape, or form. So that way I'm continuously growing as a person. I'm getting better at whatever it is that I may have, that I've lost at, like a game or a match, a kickboxing match, or whatever it is. I just need to get better and improve. And if I'm doing that, that's it. Everything else is out of my control. Those are the things that are in my control and that I can control, right? My actions and my reactions to things. Those are the things that I am in control of. So Johann Wolfgang Van Goth, by the way, he was a polymath, which I didn't know what that was. I asked my mom, she hadn't heard of it, or she had heard the name, but wasn't sure what it was. But that means that you know a lot about a lot of different things. And lo and behold, Benjamin Franklin, one of our founding fathers, was considered a polymath. Quick question. Do you guys know what president of the United States Benjamin Franklin was? Which number he was? Trick question. He was not a president of the United States. Got some of you. I know I did. I know I got some of you. So what does it mean to make a commitment, you guys? To a goal, to a value, to a way of life? What does that mean to you? Commitment is the foundation of what you are building in your life, for yourself and for others, for your future. Commitment is for your future. You're committing to something for your future. It's a self-investment. It's an investment. Well, relationship is an investment. That's a commitment. It's a big one, and I'm talking about the lover kinds. My commitment to Vanessa, my love for Vanessa. This is an investment for our future. Commitment is about being consistent, not just that initial enthusiasm you have about someone or something. They're habits. You're building habits that keep you intact, right? Commitment is the thing that when you just can't push anymore, you do it anyways. My Muay Thai instructor always told me that the days that you're tired and have the lowest amount of energy are the days that you should go to the gym. Those are the days that you should go. So when you're feeling down, low energy, that's when you go to the gym. Because if you could do it then, it's easy when you're up and ready, right? When you got this high energy level and you're good to go and everything's going your way in the right direction, man, almost anything's possible, right? But it's through that thick and thin that matters. That's that consistency. That's building that habit. That's attributing to your commitment, right? And these could be little like examples of like for the relationships in your commitment can be like checking in with each other, doing that consistently, right? Letting them know, or the other person, letting them know that you love them, not letting them forget that you love them, right? Like they know you love them, you're with them, and maybe you've been with them for a while, but reminding them never hurts. You build that habit. I do it all the time with Vanessa. I tell her all the time. I show her in so many different ways, and I make sure to tell her and say, I love you. I love you so much. And I'll just say it, hey babe, I love you. Just reminding her constantly. I sent her a text tonight. You know what? I'm going to read you this text I sent her tonight. Real quick. Sorry. A little off track. But I said, hey, babe, if I haven't told you yet today, I love you a lot. You mean the absolute world to me, my love. I mean it more and more every time I tell you. Just because I was feeling like it. Now, remember that when you're feeling down and lonely one day, right? Not lonely. Well, when you're feeling like lost, you know that feeling. Say it to your loved one. Tell them how much you love them. However it is, however you don't have to tell the person you love them all the time, but however you do this in your own way, and the other person sees that effort and that consistency from you, that also builds that communication we've talked about. That builds your relationship value, its worth. It builds on that. And that's something for your future. Right? Most of us I'd like to think all of us, but most of us aren't in a relationship just to have it end. That we're in it for the long haul. We don't get into a relationship thinking it's going to end in a month or two. Or at least I don't. I haven't. If I get into a relationship, that's a commitment. Long-term commitment. Even a relationship with God is a commitment. Consistently talking with God, having those conversations. Again, however you see it, your way. Your job, that's a commitment. Yes, we're driven by external factors like we need money to pay for our kids' clothes and food and the roof over our heads and X, Y, and Z. But my dream job here at the studio, that's also a commitment. I don't have to do this. This isn't bringing in all the income that I need to support my family and myself. This is a choice. I've sought out a goal, a dream, and I've committed to it no matter what. I've stuck to it, I'm sticking to it, and I'm investing in my future. I'm investing my time into getting better, learning how certain things work, learning how to grow within this industry, learning what to do, how to move, all these different avenues of growth. I've invested in my future, in my work. I've committed to my work, to staying committed to achieve a goal, to a dream, right? I'm committed to succeeding. I'm committed to the vision. I'm committed to the vision. And I hope that you all sidestep. I hope that you all have chosen a goal recently and are pursuing that goal. If you thought about your dreams, your hopes and dreams, I hope that you have at least given it some thought. What's your first step? You should start looking it up right now. Pause this podcast, put my blabbering ass on mute, on pause, and go look it up. Go look it up. What's the first step? Your curiosity. Just type something in towards that goal or that dream that you have. Just type it up. See what happens. That's the first step. And then one thing leads to another, and hopefully there's a chain reaction, snowball effect, and you are on your way to accomplishing your goals, right? I have, I'm still on this side step. My goals have changed. They've altered. I haven't been able to work out as much. My yoga is very slim. I get 10 minutes in maybe every few days of like breathing. But my goals of updating my website, reaching out to clients, sending emails, talking and collaborating with people online, spending more time with my kids, working on a song a day, trying to complete a song a day for mixing, recording the podcast, coming up with ideas, sitting down, putting the time in to invest into the podcast and these ideas to help myself and you guys. All these things, this commitment around these goals. I have to be specific, like I've told you guys. I'm trying to be as specific as possible, but I have this umbrella of things I'm trying to do, and I have to nail it down to like a little something every single day. Well, if I want to improve my website, what do I want to improve on my website? I want to improve the user friendliness of my website. So I need to make things easier. Less clicks to get to where I want people to be. So the booking or even the reflection page, which I'm kind of working out right now. It says blog, but I want it to say the reflection. So the other day I did an advertisement. So I went on there, did that, made it more user friendly. Get the advertisement on there. Send an advertisement out on Instagram. Did that. But first I had to work on that. So all these little steps and little things for the overarching goal. That's the plan, right? That's what I'm committed to, coming back to the commitment. So I hope you guys are setting your goals, achieving your goals, pursuing your goals. Commitment. You can use tools like planners and trackers or reminders to help you maintain your focus, whatever your commitment is. Maybe you guys are in a softball league. Maybe you're in some sort of sporting league. Maybe you're wanting to paint every day. Maybe you're wanting to draw. Maybe you're wanting to write. Maybe you're wanting to record something, right? Plan it. Write it down. Put it in your notes. Make a reminder. I write down everything on sticky notes. I write every single thing down on sticky notes that I have to do. I also put it in I have a large, which I'm looking at right now, is a legal pad. I write everything down for my podcast in there, and I break it down from the intro down to the first topic and to the second, so on and so forth, all the way to the end with the quote, so on and so forth. But I do this with a goal in mind, right? And then I have to break it down. I have to break it down piece by piece, or else I'm going to be scattered all over the place. And that's not good for anybody, especially me, right? Got to be more precise. So write it down, take notes, get a planner, whatever you got to do to stay committed, whatever works for you, right? At the end of the day, it's whatever works for you. I also have a whiteboard in my studio for myself and clients when they come in here. I have the podcast stuff written down on there. I also do my album reviews, and I do research for that. So I do research for all these things. And I was like bending backwards right now to look at the whiteboard. But I have this whiteboard in my studio to also maintain my focus and set reminders and plan on that whiteboard so I can see it every time I walk into the studio. Just whatever you got to do to stay committed. Find inspiration. Find inspiration wherever you can in quotes and stories, social media, YouTube. There's tons of information out there. Again, we're in the 21st century, the age of information. It's at your fingertips. Look up people. Find people who have achieved the thing that you want to achieve or that it's similar. Find quotes that inspire you to keep you motivated. I do these things religiously. I follow a bunch of different quote profiles on Instagram and what's the other one? Facebook and TikTok, and I see all these quotes constantly. So that way, when I go on any of my social media platforms, I see quotes, inspiring quotes to keep me motivated, to keep me pushing towards my goal. No matter what type of day I'm having, I can see these on a consistent basis because I'm always checking social media, just like most of us. So find quotes, stories, things on social media, YouTube videos, whatever you need to keep you in the mindset, the mind frame of staying committed to something. And at the end of the day, commitment's going to look different to a lot of people, but it all will have it will have a common thread. That common thread, consistency and dedication. Right? No matter what it is, our commitment towards a loved one, towards a job, towards a task is going to look different to everybody. Right? It might be very similar, but it's going to look different. But the common thread is consistency and dedication. So I say these things for you to ask yourself, where am I at with my consistency and dedication? Am I consistent? A lot of people I talk to, and I'm serious with this, a lot of people I talk to will convince themselves, they'll rationalize that they're doing something. And I don't know if they're doing that for conversation's sake or to maybe lie for some reason to make themselves look a certain way, but they will convince themselves and rationalize, like I said, to look a certain way, to say that I'm doing this when I know for a fact that they're not. I know that they're not consistent with this. I know they don't do X, Y, and Z on a daily basis, but they'll act like they do, and they won't necessarily say that exactly, but they will in so many words say that. One of my friends said one time, "Oh, I'm too busy to work on this because I'm doing this other thing." And I was like, "What? That other thing takes you maybe an hour out of your day. It takes an hour out of your day. So for you to say you can't do the other thing because of this thing that takes an hour, I mean, you're lying to yourself. But that's not for me to judge you. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, let's be real with ourselves. And are we committed to something? Are you committed to your relationship? Are you committed to this goal, this task, this dream? Ask yourself, what are you doing to get there? What are you doing to improve your relationship, to improve your job skills, to improve your growth, to grow? What are you doing? Right? Be real. Be honest with yourself. If you're stuck in this loop, in this hamster wheel, be honest with yourself. Get out of that hamster wheel. Find out how. Some people will say, I don't know how. Do what I just said. Type in something in your computer. How to get off the hamster wheel. How to do this. How to learn how to plant plants. How, learn some botany and some what's the word for horticulture? Learn some horticulture. Just start typing it in. You got to start somewhere. Get off of that hamster wheel if you're on it, please. I'm rooting for you. At the end of the day, you need to visualize. That's what we need to do. Mike Tyson, let's not talk about that fight that just happened, but Mike Tyson used to visualize his hand being raised. He would walk to the stage and be pumped up, visualizing his hand being raised. Once he got in the ring, he would say, I am a god. He would say that to himself. And that mindset, although very kind of narcissistic in so many words, in so many ways, but that mindset allowed him to be one of the best boxers to ever live. He visualized his success. I was also told, I think I saw this on a documentary, so please fact check me, but I'm pretty sure that he would go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm pretty sure a psychologist to anywhere from up to 3 times a day before a fight, a few times a week, if not every day. He would go see a psychologist to get his mind right, to make sure it was in the right direction before fight night. So see, that's a man that's going to do whatever he's got to do to get to where he needs to be. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Do what you got to do to get to where you want to be so you can do what you want to do. Visualize your success, your end result, every step along the way, every little one. You don't have to know what they are. So you start with the end result. This is what I see myself. This is where I see myself. This is how I see myself in the future. Now start planning backwards. How am I going to get there? Stay connected to your outcome. Stay connected to that end result. You know, I talk a lot about these things and staying committed, staying consistent, pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams. And for those of you who are on that journey right now, I commend you. Good for you. Keep going. Stay strong. Stay positive. Have that optimistic mindset, growth mindset towards your vision. But please avoid burnout. I have this problem once in a while, and I have to take a step back. I'll start getting frustrated and irritated with very little things that my kids do, and for being kids, and just little things. And I'll be like, okay, I need to pause. Take a day to breathe, relax, don't do anything, right? And that avoiding burnout, that self-care can also look different to people. You have to balance hard work with rest and that self-care. Staying inside and just sitting down and doing nothing, just staying at home, but doing nothing, not thinking about anything. Reading or relaxing, working out. That's also a little bit, but working out's also self-care, right? A spa treatment where you're just sitting there relaxing, enjoying that. Take a walk. Studies show that it's also, not only is it good for stress to just take a walk, not like a workout, like a run, but just a walk. Good for stress, but it's also good for back pain, which when you think about it, actually makes sense. They also say that a lot of our back pain comes from our ancient ancestors because we were hunched over for so many thousands of years. And then once we were upright, right, we weren't supposed to be standing up. We were supposed to be on all fours. And then eventually being upright has caused a lot of us in the world to have back problems, including sitting on the couch all the time and all these extra things. But take a walk. Right? You don't have to burn yourself out. You can still stay committed to a goal or to a task without burning yourself out. And remember, commitment is not about perfection. It is not about perfection, you guys. It's about perseverance, building resilience. I think a lot of us feel like, especially with social media and Hollywood and the news, and we've talked about this before, but we feel like we have to be perfect. We have to look a certain way. We have to act a certain way. And if we don't hit these kind of points that we feel like we have to, then we aren't good enough, or we're not succeeding and we're not making progress, or that we don't fit in whatever area that is that we're trying to get into, right? This idea of perfection, everything being perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nothing is perfect. That is what perfection is. Nothing is perfect. That's the irony. We are human. We make mistakes. We move on. We move forward. The difference is that some of us keep pushing forward. And I encourage you with all my soul and being to be that person. Keep pushing, build that resilience, be consistent, make commitments. We got a new year coming up, and don't wait. Please don't wait. I know that it's the thing. The New Year's resolution, it's a thing. I've never been one to be so focused on that. Have I done it? Of course I've done it. But I haven't been the one to be like, okay, this is it. This is the year. I'm going to do this, X, Y, and Z. No. That can start right now, this very second. You start this commitment to something. You start chasing that dream. You start changing your attitude and your outlook and your perspective on life right now. Don't wait for things to happen. I know a lot of people also seem to wait for things to happen to them, and they don't go out there and get it. Right? They're waiting. What's that expression? People are waiting for life to happen when life's already happening. It's like people are waiting for something to come to them when it doesn't work that way. You are the few far in between if that does happen for you. I have not met a person like that. I know that your chances are increased if you know certain people in certain areas of things that you want to do that are exciting or kind of in the fame realm, if you will, right? If you're connected in that, the chances of that thing happening, life happening, is higher. Let's say you have a friend's cousin who is a skydiver, and they come to you and say, hey, you want to go skydiving? And you say, yes. Well, there you go. That's one of those things that's in your circle that just came to your doorstep without you going out there and saying, I want to go skydiving. But again, opportunity knocks at the door. When it knocks, are you going to answer that door? I pride myself, and I said this in the last episode, I pride myself with feeling like I answered every single one of those knocks. I can't think of a time that I was like, I wish I would have gone here and did this. I wish I would have done that. Anytime something has come to my doorstep and said, hey, you want to do this? I usually say yes. I mean, within reason. Someone's like, hey, you want to go live in a different country? Sure, why not? When are we going? What are we doing? How are we going to do it? I'll say yes, and then I'll say, okay, cool. Now that we're going to do this, go live in this other country, where are we going to stay? How are we going to get there? What's the money situation? What's day-to-day look like overall? You don't start breaking it down. Backwards planning, right? That's what we talk about in teaching. You backwards plan. You have the end result, the goal. This is where we're going to try to get to. And then how are we going to get there? Another word that they like to use, my buddy does not like, these are buzzwords in teaching, but scaffolding. Scaffold your learning. Scaffold your goals to your end result, to your vision, right? And I want to encourage you that once you achieve one goal, you need to set more. Keep that going. That inspires hope. That inspires change. That commitment to something new, constantly changing as the world changes, as we change, as everything changes. Your goals need to change. You need to be consistent on having goals. Start giving up hope and we start giving up on having goals and dreams. It's just like, man, again, there we are in that hamster wheel. We don't want that. That's not healthy. We don't want that. That's not good for our mental health or our loved ones around us. We got to keep motivated, keep going, keep pursuing. Commitment is not about perfection. It's about perseverance. You go and get it, baby. You go and get it. No, but seriously, please. So stay kind to yourself and remember your why. Remember to have self-care. Stay kind to yourself. Remember your why. Why is it that you're pursuing this thing? Why is it that you have made this commitment? The remembering the why, will help you stay grounded. I can't say that enough. I love you guys so much. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on commitment. I want to leave you with a quote, as always. And I think this is a good one. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard this. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but rather a habit. Aristotle. Love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive, and I'll talk to you soon.